I took on a case involving the annihilation of an entire family. The perpetrator's sole motive was a twisted curiosity to be with a married woman. He ultimately subjected her to a horrific assault before taking her life, and tragically, their infant child was also violently killed. It was impossible to imagine how anyone could do something so cruel to an infant. None of us on the scene could stomach it, let alone the child's father. His mind was already on the brink of shattering. Placing his daughter back in her crib was perhaps the last act of tenderness he had left in him. We immediately reported the situation up the chain. The brass gave it top priority, the #1 case to be solved. But in truth, solving it wasn't complicated. Beyond the bodies, we conducted a meticulous sweep of the scene for evidence. But even for us seasoned officers, the process was agonizing. In the living room, a warm family portrait of 3 hung on the wall. Rosie looked only a few months old in the photo, nestled in her mother's arms, smiling sweetly. Of course, it wasn't just the baby. The parents were beaming too. The wedding photo on the TV stand, the stuffed animals on the couch. Everything spoke of the warmth this home once held, but it was all gone. The sole survivor of this family was now so broken, he had to be hospitalized and sedated. During our search, we found a wealth of unfamiliar shoe prints, fingerprints, and hair. The killer had no anti-surveillance skills whatsoever. Since the building had no security cameras, we had to rely on the street-level public surveillance cameras. From those, we got a clear look at the suspect's face and confirmed his identity. The suspect was Leland Croft, 19 years old, 5'8", a senior at the local high school. His age was a bit old for a high school senior, but that was irrelevant to the current case, for now. And he wasn't just anyone. His mother had passed away early, a single-parent household, but his father, Donovan Croft, was the owner of the largest real estate development group in the city. However, since Leland was legally an adult, we had no obligation to inform his parents before making the arrest. So that very night, we made the call and brought Leland Croft in. When we cuffed him, he was at an outdoor barbecue joint with some classmates, eating and drinking as if the monstrous crime he'd committed that day had never happened. Before getting into the patrol car, he screamed and shouted, claiming he had no idea what was going on and demanding to know why he was being arrested. By the time he got out of the car at the station, he was crying, wailing, actually. His legs could barely hold him up. Our patrol cars didn't have internal cameras back then, and the officers in the car with him had all been at the horrific crime scene earlier. No one knows what happened in that car, but we could all guarantee that nothing happened. Back at the precinct, my captain, Sal Rossi, made it clear. This case had to be handled overnight. He would coordinate with all departments to work overtime and solidify the chain of evidence. We all knew why. It was to prevent the suspect's father, Donovan Croft, from using his vast resources as the local tycoon to interfere with the investigation. We immediately collected hair and fingerprint samples from Leland and sent them for analysis. The fingerprint results came back almost instantly, a perfect match to the prints left at the scene. The DNA results from the hair would take a bit longer in that era. That night, Captain Rossi and I were in charge of the interrogation. At first, the kid just sobbed and blubbered, demanding to see his dad. He claimed he'd been beaten, that this was a coerced confession, that he was innocent, that we had the wrong man, not a shred of remorse. We slapped the surveillance photos and the fingerprint match report on the table and roared at him. Confess now and you might get some leniency. Keep lying and you'll be dead before you ever see your daddy again. That's when the gravity of the situation finally seemed to hit Leland Croft. Of course, whether he confessed or not didn't really matter. We could convict him with zero confession, but it was our job to get a clear picture of the entire event. For instance, did he know Isla Kane? Why did he target her? Especially with an infant in the house. Not to blame any victim, but most rape cases involve women living alone. And if it was just a home invasion and rape, why kill the mother? And why, in such a horrifically cruel manner, kill her 11-month-old baby? Leland Croft's confession introduced me to a new dimension of human depravity. Some creatures, it turns out, really aren't human at all. According to